Hi everyone, welcome back to Earl Grey Books. I'm Ellie. I'm here today to do my wrap up for the final round of the Read My Kindle that I did in 2022. So I want to start off by saying that this last year was my solo project, and that this year I have opened it up and anyone can join in. I've already posted my video about this in December and I'll link it below. So we have already started in Jan. It's pretty chill. There's a Discord, there's a bingo board every 2 months, and it's good. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end, but I think I started this one in September or October. I don't really remember, but this is my third time doing it. I did them kind of sporadically throughout the year, and this is the last time. So for these ones, I just picked a bunch of books that I had as ebooks or that I knew were available on KU and just added them to a TBR. Now we're going to talk about them. How many did I pick? 8. That would make sense. And yeah, here we go. So the reason I decided to kind of swap this and do this as a thing that anyone could join is because I did really bad on my own. It's always nice to have some people cheering you on, right? And if people are also trying to do it, it's so much more fun than being on your own. So for this round, I managed to finish 2 books and I DNF'd another one, which is actually an improvement. In round 2, I can't remember what I did in round 1, but in round 2, I read 1 and DNF'd 2. So reading 2 and DNFing 1 is, I think, an improvement. So let's talk about them. I actually read the 2 at the end of December, so I was really not doing well with this for most of the time, but the first one I did read was Kiss of Steel by Beck McMaster. This is one I got off KU and is a steampunk set in London, and there are vampires and werewolves and all this sort of stuff, and Beck McMaster is going to couple of the romance events that I'm going to. I think I mentioned that in my TBR, and I thought that it would be a good time to pick this one up. I loved this. It was so good. I read it, I think I started it on the 21st or something, and it took me 2 or 3 days to read. It was really fun. I don't really read steampunk that much. I have read a few, but it's just not a genre that I typically reach for, and it's not even that I've disliked the ones that I've read. I've really enjoyed the ones I can think of, but I just kind of forget that it is a genre and that I do enjoy them when I pick them up. And I loved this. It was brilliant. Immediately became one of my favorites of the year, even though it was basically the end of December. I just had a really good time reading this. So I have pre-ordered this entire series from Beck McMaster, and I cannot wait to get to book 2. Beck is going to be at that first event, which is in Feb, so I'm literally counting down the days until I can get them, because I really need to know what's going to happen in the second one. They are, like most sort of historical romances, they do follow different characters in each book. So I'm super excited about the characters in book 2. I haven't looked up who the other ones are because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. So once I finished book 1, I looked who book 2 was, and I'm so excited. But that's enough about Kiss of Steel, and I will talk about it more when I have the physical books. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to have them in my hands and to have them signed and pretty and to just be able to push them at people it's going to be great. And the other one I read was Amor Actually, which is a short story collection anthology thing from a bunch of Latina romance authors, and it is, romance short stories set around, I don't think I'm going to say this right, but it's Noche Buena, perhaps. It's on Christmas Eve, and it is, this was cute. This is sort of a Love Actually retelling sort of thing. Some of the stories kind of match up a little, but they are obviously significantly sexier. This is very smutty and also significantly gayer, and I love that. It was really good, and I'd only read one of the authors in this before, which was Alexis Daria, and I didn't enjoy everyone's stories, but I definitely found a few authors that I'm interested in finding their books of, and also just reminded me that I really enjoyed the book from Alexis Daria that I did read, and that I should go back to her stuff, which I'm definitely going to try and do this year. Okay, next, the one I DNF'd. I did start this one earlier, like I think a few weeks after I posted my video, and that was Cassandra Speaks. And I don't know who it's by. Let me get up my Kindle here. So I made it 31% through this. And the issue I had with it is that I thought this was more talking about, here we go. Elizabeth Lesser is the author. I thought this was talking more about the actual sort of myth of Cassandra, and maybe a sort of, I don't know, not really a retelling, because I knew it was non-fiction, but I thought it would just be more of like a, I guess, kind of like literary criticism. It's more of a self-help book for women, and that's not something that I enjoy reading. I'm just not, I don't know, I just hate self-help books because I find them the exact opposite of helpful. They just make me feel panicked and shitty. And so I made it 31% through, because at the start I was actually kind of enjoying it. When she was sort of setting it up, I was like, oh, this is like, she's telling some like personal stories about, from memory, kind of a connection to how she felt about Cassandra, and kind of the whole idea of that sort of figure, that woman figure that isn't believed. And I was so excited for that. And then it started getting like self-helpy, and I was like, I'm out. That's it. So if you're into that, I think it's probably quite good, but that's not what I was expecting or hoping for. And then I did start a few others. I started Up All Night, which is also an anthology, but this is a YA one. Yeah, I started this one. I got 20% of the way through it. I think I'd read about 3 stories, one of which I enjoyed. I was reading another one that featured a disabled character, and I was really enjoying that one, because I just whenever I go into books, I do not expect to actually see any disability representation. So when I do, I get very excited. Like, unless I'm aware and I've bought it because it has the disability aspect to it, I'm like, ooh, exciting. So I will probably try and finish this one as part of the project for the next 2 months, and we'll share it then. I also started Property of the Mountain Man by Gemma Weir, who is also going to Rare, which is one of those events. I read 10% of this. Just wasn't really in the mood for a contemporary romance at the time, which was I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. So I will come back to it. I'll probably finish it this month, but I just wanted to read something paranormal or historical or something like that in terms of romance, and I will swing back around to it when I'm in the contemporary mood again, because I was enjoying what I'd read so far. Which means that there are 3 that I didn't get to at all. First is Blessed by the Wicked, which is by Kel Carpenter. This is the second book in the Dark Magi series. I read the first one in July of last year and enjoyed it. Honestly, didn't really think about this one at all. I found another series by Kel Carpenter that I really loved, so I don't think I don't know, I'm just not really prioritizing this series. She's also at one of those events, and I think that I'm probably just going to get that series that I really enjoy. I think I will probably just continue this series on Kindle if I do decide to do that. I enjoyed book 1, but I didn't love it, and it was kind of slow to start, so I will see if I enjoy the rest of the series. I also didn't get around to Handbook for Dragon Slayers. Again, I will get to this one. This one does have disability representation, and it also has the representation that it is the disability that I was born with. So I will get to this because I'm really excited to see that. And yeah, I just don't know when that'll be. Definitely this year. It's a middle grade, so again, middle grade March is something that I've talked about in a few videos. I think that's a thing. That's a thing, right? Yeah, so I might read it then. And then the other one was Envy by Lana Pekajek. She is also at 2 of those events. I've read her before, so I've also bought a lot of books from her already. So I don't know, this is a 7-book series, I believe, because I think it's the 7 Deadly Sins. I mean, I know it's the 7 Deadly Sins, but I feel like there's like a novella attached or something. Yeah, I do want to come to this one. I didn't even download this one off KU, to be honest. I don't know, I'm gonna see. This series isn't as interesting to me as one of her other series that I have read like half the books for. So I don't know. I will try and get to this one, but I do already have all those books. So if I don't get to them by the event, I'm not really going to be that disappointed. I did want to briefly talk about this year's challenge. Obviously, I did the whole announcement video, and I'll be doing more videos about them, but I thought, I don't know, it might be cool to highlight a couple of books that I would like to read. There is a bingo board with different prompts. The way I think I'm going to do it, at least for Jan, is just read whatever, and then at the end of January look at the bingo board and work out what's left, and then plan my sort of February reading around that. There is no, you don't get anything from finishing the bingo boards. It's just a, bragging rights, and, you get to pat yourself on the back, basically. But one of my goals for this quarter is to do that. So I think, I have a few that I'd like to do. I would like to finish Property of the Mountain Man and Up All Night. What else do I have on here? I have Blood Laws by Lexi C. Foss. I would like to finish that one. I've read 29% of that. So I'd like to do that. I'm trying to think what else I have. I have A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain, which is a monster romance. She's also at one of those events. I'd really like to give that a go. I also have Rise of Hades by Mila Young, who is also at those events. I have a box set of the first 4. No, I have a box set of 4 in the series. I've read the first 2. I'm literally 50% of the way through, so I'd like to finish that. I do plan on ordering some books from Miller Young, but not this series, but I just want to finish it because it's just sitting on my KU right now. And the last one I wanted to mention is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything except for the fact that it is a contemporary romance about a figure skater and an ice hockey player, and I need that, please, thank you. So yeah, those are the ones I am anticipating getting to. Hopefully I manage to finish some off and all that, and then we'll just see, play it by ear otherwise. And yeah, I just thought I'd mention a couple and we'll see how we go with them. It's not a TBR. If I don't read them, it's fine, but just thought I'd mention a few. So with that being said, that's the end of today's video. I'm clearly, well, you can't see him, but I'm being instructed to cuddle, so you can probably hear him purr. So I'm gonna go do that, and I will see you all next time. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.